On this episode of Techtorials, we will discuss computer viruses and effective methods of preventing them on your computer. Computer viruses have been around since the 1980s. They come in many forms and can be contracted in many different ways. The methods have changed over the years, but the effects are still just as dangerous as ever. In the early days of viruses, they were spread from computer to computer by floppy disks. As email grew popular, computer viruses started showing up in the form of attachments. And then with the internet boom, viruses began to appear in downloaded content and even the pages themselves. The latter two forms are still the most popular way to get viruses. Let's take a look at some various types of viruses that are out there. First, we'll take a look at Trojan viruses. Trojans are usually programs that are advertised to do one thing, but when executed, they offload some form of malicious program that will run at a later time to gather information or to do damage to the computer itself. This is done to bypass computer safeguards such as the antivirus programs and firewalls. Most times these viruses stay local so they do not spread like other viruses do. Similar to Trojans are backdoor viruses. These types of viruses work to use security vulnerabilities as a method of gaining access to the user's computer for future attacks. Many times this type of virus comes as part of what seems like something useful, but actually does damage instead. These viruses can allow hackers into your computer to use this for malicious action, or simply to take your personal information. This is one of the biggest reasons Microsoft has a Patch Tuesday, which we will discuss in depth later in the video. Boot sector viruses are a third type of virus and one of the most dangerous to get. These viruses actually alter the code that tells your computer how to start up when you turn it on. These viruses used to be spread by leaving code on a floppy disk and starting the computer. If the computer was set to read the floppy disk before the hard drive, the code could be executed and cause havoc. Typically, to remove these viruses, you would need to repair or reinstall the operating system to replace the corrupted files, and the computer would be able to run again. Macro viruses have been around for a long time and often come in the form of a legitimate-looking email attachment. A macro is a built-in set of instructions used by programs such as Microsoft Word or Excel that execute a set of commands when run. Generally, users will set up macros to perform normal everyday operations. Hackers, though, have learned to exploit macros to be used for destructive purposes, such as destroying files, programs, and even the operating system. Spyware, adware, and scareware, also known as malware, are a new form of a problem that has become more and more prevalent as the internet has grown. These little programs can do many things, from having annoying pop-ups come on the screen, to running programs on your computer to make you think that you have a virus or that you need to buy a new antivirus program. Generally, these are scams trying to steal money, or worse, get your credit card information. Many times, these will get onto your computer from websites, or even just by mousing over ads on a web page. One of the worst types of viruses around is called Keyloggers. These viruses actually record your keystrokes from the keyboard for a would-be hacker to extract and use against you, all without you knowing. With these keystrokes, they could reproduce passwords, steal bank information if you use online banking, or gain access to other personal information for malicious use. Many times this is done using software programs, but occasionally hardware devices will be used as well. So how can you tell if there's a virus on your computer? Sometimes it's not possible without the use of another program, but many times there are signs and clues that your computer gives that it has some sort of infection. One would be overall slow performance of the machine. The computer gets to the operating system slower, programs don't open as fast, and sometimes not at all. Another sign would not being able to save or print a document from the computer. Be aware of how much activity is happening on your hard drive. And also watch for unusual or unfamiliar error messages that pop up on your screen. And a final way would be by having your computer crash and seeing what is called the blue screen of death. This will show you a blue screen with white letters and have some sort of technical code telling the user the issue that made it happen. There are many ways to protect yourself from malware and viruses. The first and foremost way is to have a trusted antivirus program on your computer. These programs protect your computer by scanning files, checking internet data, and even scanning your email as it comes in. Some popular examples of antivirus programs would be McAfee, Symantec, Avast, and Trend. Some of these programs offer free trials or versions, but to get the best coverage, you will need to pay some sort of fee for their services. Antivirus programs are able to track the latest threats and viruses through a special set of files called definitions. These virus definitions are updated at least once a day, if not more. It is vital to make sure that your virus definitions are always current to be confident that you're always protected. You need to make sure you are knowledgeable about how to use your antivirus program, how to check the virus definition dates, how to run updates on the program itself, and how to clean quarantine items. Also, you need to make sure you know what the messages look like from your antivirus program. Messages and warnings will pop up from time to time, indicating to you that there is an issue that has been addressed or needs resolved. One common ploy from malware and viruses is to spoof warning messages to get you to try and click on their product to get your information and try to hurt you or further damage your computer. By being aware of what your antivirus message is, will not only protect you and keep you safe, but will keep your system healthy. In addition to your antivirus program, you'll also need to become familiar with other programs that can help you combat viruses and spyware. Some examples of these programs would be Malwarebytes, Spybot, RegAssassin, and CCleaner. These programs are not active like antivirus programs, but they are able to look in different items and focus on other issues such as malware and spyware specifically. A third way to protect your computer is to make sure that the operating system is up to date with all the patches and vulnerability fixes. We mentioned earlier Patch Tuesday, and this is Microsoft's way of staying on top of these things. During the second Tuesday of every month, Microsoft will send out security patches to fix any issues that have been pointed out or vulnerabilities that have been found or exploited. This is generally done through Microsoft Update, a program that comes with all Windows machines that tracks when these updates are available. You can set this program to run automatically, or you can manually check for updates using this program. It's always a good idea to keep your computer current with updates and patches. Checking once a week is a good idea, just to be sure they're current. The biggest thing to keep you safe in your computing experience is education. Make sure you're certain of the websites you're visiting. Never open up emails or attachments from addresses you do not know. Have a good antivirus program with up-to-date definitions. Understand what the program messages look like. Find other utility programs to help you keep the computer safe and clean. We hope you enjoyed this presentation. This tutorial has been brought to you by the ITS Service Desk, your best friend in technology.